And welcome back to The Factor Uncensored. We're one step closer to learning who will lead the city of Houston. Early voting for Saturday's runoff election has officially closed. The biggest race everyone will be watching is for mayor, of course, with State Senator John Whitmire and Congresswoman Sheila Jackson Lee both vying for that top job. Joining us to talk about it, University of Houston downtown professor Dr. Dietrich Von Biedenfeld. Glad to have you here. Yes. So looking at this race, what is your prediction? Obviously, today was the last day of early voting. Who do you see becoming mayor of Houston?
I think it's going to be closer than people think, but it's going to be John Whitmire. And there are a number of factors in this, including the 9-to-1 spending and the 14-to-1 cash on hand that has risen from the 5-to-1 that Whitmire holds that lead over Sheila Jackson Lee. More controversies coming out, and even the simplistic things such as asking her voters to show up on December 7th to vote. Whitmire is going to say, show up on December 9th for me. So, I mean, there are a number of factors. And explain that for the viewer who's not aware of that. Oh, there was yet another fumble on Sheila Jackson Lee's campaign staff where she went out and her voice and asked voters to show up on December 7th to cast their votes for her. That's not an election day. Early voting closed. December 9th is going to be that final day to cast your vote. And she's asking people to show up on the wrong day. So how much are you paying your campaign staffers? How much are you paying for your advocates? Well, you don't have that much because he's 14-to-1 over you. So every penny counts for her campaign. And it's a pincer movement with Amanda Edwards in the congressional race. So if she's trying to hold on to that seat, not move for U.S. Senate or some other race, Amanda Edwards has been out raising her. John Whitmire has been out raising her. So she's being squeezed between these two forces, trying to keep this hope alive. It's not going to work.
What does Sheila Jackson Lee need, the Congresswoman, need to do in these last remaining days to make a difference? What can she do? Is there anything you think she can do?
Ask the school to close early. I mean, if she's got the teachers' unions, maybe she can get them to take the Christmas break early. But as of now, that's not till the 22nd. So those teachers are still in school. They've still got their lesson plans to do, whereas the police union, which has endorsed John Whitmire, they've got plenty of time to go out on their shift, and they've got quite a bit of endorsements. She's got some very strong national endorsements, but as we've spoken about before, Bill Clinton, Hillary Clinton, that's just balancing out. A lot of people hate Hillary. Everybody loves Bill. So now you've got a zero-sum game. At the end of the day, these national endorsements, people are predicting a Biden win. So you don't need a national presence from the Houston mayor. You need an Austin presence, and John Whitmire is bringing that with his 40 years of experience as Dean of the Senate.
And when we take a look at these two candidates, what are the differences between the two? Both are Democrats, but Whitmire seems to be more conservative, more blue dog. Your thoughts on the differences between these two?
Not a lot on the fiscal aspect, and I think they're both going to come in. He's got 40 years. She's got almost 30 years in elected office. These are people who are entrenched. They're both going to appreciate Mayor Turner's 4-car motorcades, and they're going to roll in and say, this is nice. This is a beautiful wood grain office. We're going to enjoy our private elevator. The separate part of that, though, is he's more on the law enforcement side, which people are talking about crime, and she's more on the education side, which Governor Abbott has sort of undercut her on by taking over HISD. So there are a number of areas where her talking points are not as relevant to voters. And where they align, you know, people are going to say, well, we can have more of the same, or we're going to have something slightly different, and I think they're going to end up giving a slightly more narrow lead, but probably a 4% to John Whitmire.
Okay, and Election Day is when?
December 9th, not December 7th.
All right, Dr. Dietrich Von Biedenfeld from the University of Houston downtown, thank you for joining